I'm really excited that Becca is joining us. So Becca is in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I just found out, is actually at Metrics right now. And that's in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she is currently, I guess, with Ben um, in Phoenix. So Becca's going to be talking to us. The reason why I asked her is so she's a very good friend of mine from Keller Williams Young Professionals when I was involved in that, and she has a really amazing business in Charlotte while traveling the world and being able just to do an amazing amount of business through the people she knows. And so I wanted to have her hop on and talk about how she's very intentional because this girl will do business while she's just sitting in Italy. So, Becca, I will let you take it over if you want to do a little bit of maybe a better introduction than myself. But yeah, Becca.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. It's great to be here. I am in gorgeous Phoenix for the Metrics Masterminds group, and it's been such a pleasure. So I get to see a lot of place partners here, and I love you guys just to the moon. So, a little bit about me that will maybe help give us some context to this. So, I'm an individual agent currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've been in business going on about 9 years now. But before that, I came from corporate sales, and I came from corporate sales in California. And I moved out to Charlotte. I had a partner. Him and I didn't work out, but me and Charlotte did. So I decided to stay, but I had no friends. That's not true. I had like three friends. I had, honestly, to goodness, because all my friends had been his friends. And sometimes when you get divorced, people don't want to hang out with the ex. So I really had to start over. And something that I was very successful at and continue to be successful at is drawing business out of my sphere of influence. And obviously, to do that, you first of all, you have to have one, right? So building a sphere of influence is step one. Anybody in here feel like they don't have a sphere of influence? No? Okay, good. That's good. Everybody feels like they've got someone that they're in business with or in relationship with that they can talk to. So we love that. Um, Anybody feel like it's not big enough and you don't get enough business? Oh, Betsy says she does not. Okay, just move to a new state. Yeah, well, I feel you on that, right? So we've got one, right? Anybody, and sometimes obviously if you're a little quiet group, that's okay. You don't have to always shout it out. But
I have,
what,
yeah, and I have,
yeah,
so Bolus and I, we've talked about this too, because his entire family just moved away. And
okay,
so he is the only, sorry, Bolus, I'm throwing you under the bus again. He's the only one that stayed. And
okay.
then
So reverse.
along with David on my team, he moved here a few years ago and came from corporate. And so it also isn't from the area. So we have two people here who are, yeah, not from Sioux Falls, which can be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes when we think of sphere of influence, we literally only think, oh, my best friends and my family, right? Yeah, I see some nods. With sphere of influence is anyone that you are in relationship with that knows, likes, and trusts you. Okay. If you have a rapport, they're in your sphere. Think about your dentist. Think about your kid's school teacher. Think about, obviously, anybody at church or in other membership groups. Those people are in your sphere and you should treat them as such. So, uh, first of all, I guess step 1A is recognizing what you already have, right? So, if we're going to build a sphere, let's actually take a stock of who we have. Um, I know that I have somewhere, and Destiny, you probably have this, like a brain jiggler for sphere of influence. Okay. Um, so Destiny, I'll let her send that out to you. And if she doesn't have it, I'll send her mine. But it's a list of all of the things that you might not think about that are actually your sphere of influence, people that you can reach out to make friends with, or if you already have them, oh yeah, actually they count as my sphere. So step 1A is recognizing what you have. Next step, 1B, we'll call it, is building a sphere. So if you actually, and let's also, can I please engage me on this? Just raise your hand real quick. Who wants more sphere business? Okay, because that's we'll cut it short. I'll let you loose if you don't want it, right? Like, what's the point? But sphere business is great because it typically is really warm. They're fun to work with, and you then are going to get extra. It's easier to refer, right? Because if you're in connection and in a relationship with someone, they've got a very easy way to say, oh, this is my friend, and they're an amazing realtor. Okay, so perfect. I'm glad to hear that everybody, we should have asked that question first, but I'm glad to hear that everybody's on board. So, next step to building your sphere, there's a ton of ways to do this. You can use the tool that we'll send out that's, maybe there's something on there that you don't have, a pet groomer, and you're like, well, I don't have a pet, or I don't groom my dog. Okay, cool. That's fine. And could you go out in the community and build a relationship with a pet groomer? Because guess what? Guess who does have pets that need to be groomed? Your clientele, your database, your friends. Does anybody ever get asked for recommendations, by the way? Yeah, I see every head's nodding. Okay. So does it hurt you to go out and build a relationship with someone that you say, hey, I have a lot of connections. I get asked for recommendations all the time. I'd love to get to know you a little bit better, and potentially refer you to my clients. Yeah, super easy. So on that sheet, you can use that as a tool. And then also being intentional is something that I'm really big on, that Destiny touched on. And so when you're considering building your sphere, there is something that I really, really enjoy doing, which is I call it like the fun lead gen Venn diagram, right? So what do you enjoy doing for fun? And whether that is reading, cycling, knitting, going out to eat. Anyway, throw out some things you guys do for fun. I am going to ask for some participation. Anybody?
Like golf.
Play golf. Oh, that's a great one. Tina, that is such a great resource for a sphere. Anybody else? Destiny says gym. Okay, perfect. I'll tell you a few. Volunteering, Darcy. Yeah, amazing, beautiful. Especially if you have like a few organizations that you're really repetitive in, that you like to volunteer at the same organizations. That's a great one. Tennis and pickleball, beautiful. Oh my gosh, pickleball is like such the move right now. It's having a moment. Okay, very good. Those are all perfect examples, right? And when we talk about being intentional with building our sphere of influence, it is all of those things and more. Every time you're going out and you're doing something that you enjoy, the other people there also enjoy that, right? And they are getting to know you if you're introducing yourself. Okay, don't go to pickleball and with your partner and dink around and then bounce. Okay, you got to hang out. You've got to invest time in building relationships at those things. Be intentional. Come 5 minutes early. Wear a shirt that has your team logo on it. Stay 10 minutes late. Go out and get it. If it's morning time, go out and get a coffee with them after. Go out and get a beer with them after if it's the evening time. If you don't drink, have a water, but go. You can still go. Okay. So it's really spending a little extra time, just build in a time bubble around your activities to get in deeper relationship with the people in those activities. I'll give you an example. I did a yoga teacher training a while back, and I was also really involved in that yoga studio. I went to the same class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 a.m. all the time, constantly, right? So these people knew me, and I would spend the extra effort to stay after class 5-10 minutes, talk with the teacher, talk with the other guys. If they went and got coffee, I went and got coffee, right? I sold 3 houses from that yoga group in like 2 years when I was actively doing that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but 3 from one source in a pretty like niche source where I was just doing something that I enjoyed is a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good return on investment for me. And those type of things and examples are basically what lead me to really love this type of lead generation, because being involved in the sphere of influence, building a sphere of influence is just something that it it makes it fun. It makes real estate fun. Who like wants to go to work and not enjoy what they're doing? Or who's here because they enjoy real estate? How about that? In the reverse. Yeah, absolutely. So why not do more of that? Do more of what makes you happy, do more of what lights you up, because also that's going to make you in a more attractive light to people. When we are in our area of genius and when we are loving what we're doing, we become a magnet. We become a heart magnet for people, and they recognize that we are something special and they want to spend more time with us and they want to be in relation with us. And then naturally, that's going to lead to business. Destiny says, if you're already going to work out or yoga, why not make it intentional? Absolutely. You guys, I'm telling you, 5 to 10 minutes before and after, that's all you need. That's all you need. So take a little minute today. Actually, do you guys have 30 seconds? I think you're captive here with me. So let's do 30 seconds. And I want everybody just to jot down like 5 places or 5 activities or 5 things that you could choose that you're already doing that you could be more intentional, or that you want to add to your routine as part of lead gen, as part of your day. And guess what? This also means like you could go to yoga at 2 p.m. if you want to. It's lead gen. Like, okay, hear me out. So 30 seconds. If you haven't already started, we'll start now. I'm going to play you one of my favorite songs. Oh, wait, I don't know if you can hear it because I'm on my earpods. Can you hear it? Okay. Okay, that was 30 seconds and we didn't get to the good part, but the song is Unstoppable by Sia. And you guys, we really can be unstoppable at this job, and it can be so much fun if we let it be. So did anybody get a few things written down? Just give me like a quick wave. Yes, you got something written down. That wasn't a waste of time. Okay, thank you. So taking that list of what you're already doing or adding to be intentional is going to be a great opportunity for you guys. Also, when we're talking about building sphere, we do have kind of like the basics, right? So if you guys are familiar or you have in your area Chamber of Commerce, BNI, any sort of like networking, YPN, anything like that, who has one of those in their area? Everybody. Yeah, we all have one. Okay, perfect. So the thing is, those don't work unless you work them. Okay. I had a girl on my team that when I had a team that was all into the Chamber of Commerce, and she went to everything, never got one piece of business from it because she just showed up, sat there, listened in, like she was not proactive and she was not intentional about, I'm here for business, right? And because the thing is, some people aren't there for business. They're there to pal around and hang out. They want to put something on their resume. They want to fill up their time. They need busy work, right? Maybe they're paid at work in a different structure, and this is just kind of part of their deal. But if you want to make a networking group work for you, if you want to make a chamber work for you, Rotary, Toastmasters, anything, you have to work at it and you have to be intentional. And ask yourself when you're sitting there in the conversation with people, am I talking to the same three people every meeting? Or am I getting out? Am I intentionally getting three new names, four new names? Am I getting those business cards? And then am I setting coffee appointments with them? Hey, I'd love to get to know you better. I'm working on getting to know more people in the chamber better. Right? Like, you guys, we have to be intentional with this stuff because when you build those relationships and you build a strong sphere, you get the phone calls, you get the come list me, you get the I have to sell my house immediately, you get the I'm ready to buy, and you don't have to fight for it, you don't have to scrap for it, it's yours because you spent the time on the front end on the relationship pouring in and building energy into that. So I would encourage you guys. Is anybody already part of a group like that they are not currently getting business out of? Chamber, YPN, anything like that? Yeah, I see some head nods. Absolutely. Right. And we spend money on these. Like, they're sometimes not cheap. Like, I'm in a few that are, I know BNI is like what, $700 a year. Chambers usually 300-400 a year. Um, it's we have to put energy and intentionality into it and work on it and work on building those relationships. So if you're not currently getting anything out of it, again, jot down, write a plan, just commit to a number, commit to how many new people you want to meet at the next meeting. 3, 4, 5, 10 if you're feeling ambitious, if it's a big group, right? Sometimes some of those have like really big groups. They're like 100 people in the room, right? If there's 100 people in the room, I'd go for 10, right? If it's a 20, 30, go for a smaller number, but write that down and then circle it and add some stars and some hearts to it. I got a few smiles. Okay. All right. Perfect. So we've talked about recognizing the sphere that you already have. We're going to send out the brain jiggler for that. We've talked about adding to the sphere, being intentional with the activities surrounding the things that you already like to do. And then we've talked about leveraging the groups that you're already a part of and having a goal for making connections at the meetings and setting follow-up appointments after the meetings to build that sphere and build that relationship. Does anybody have any other thoughts or questions or ideas that you would like to share? Because you guys, when we share, we're helping our friends, right? Because if you have a question, someone else on this call probably has the same question. If you have an idea, someone else on this call may need to hear it, right? They may not, their golden nugget today may not be from me, it may be from you. So does anybody have anything that they would like to add to the conversation or any questions about maybe how I run my business or what I'm involved in or what that looks like that I can answer or share with?
Hey Becca, it's Derek. Darling, a little fun fact. I'm from Charlotte. It's my
No
favorite city
way.
in the world. Yeah, I live in Kansas now, but when you first said that you moved there and didn't have friends, I was going to say, girl, I can hook you up. I've got all the friends in the world in Charlotte. So
Yes.
anyway, one thing that I took out of your thing is that I haven't gotten involved in a lot of those other organizations that you mentioned because I have a 5-year-old and
Okay.
he's an only, and so I have immersed myself in PTO and event
Yeah.
planning for the school and kind of that. So I'm glad that we had this conversation today because I realized that, as much as I try to be intentional about it, I don't know that I go into every single meeting or every single conversation, kind of making sure that I'm promoting myself. And so I think that that was really good for me to hear is to kind of use that organization just like I would a BNA or a YPG or a
Mhm.
chamber or whatever it is, that I'm a part of. So anyway, this was a great conversation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And kids are like such a great connector.
Yeah.
So, I mean, lean in on that. Um, Also, like, I think I kind of mentioned this, but don't force yourself to do stuff you don't like to do. But if you enjoy it, then, absolutely make that energy and time to go into it. Also being, to your point, Derek, about like being involved and connected, being ready, like when you're going in those conversations, yeah, be intentional about maybe like bringing it up or talking about what you're up to, but being ready and being knowledgeable, having like a 30-second soundbite. What is the number one question you guys get if we're out like in public or at an event or whatever?
How's the market?
Yes, exactly. How's the market? What other profession do people literally walk up to you and be like, hey, how's work? Um, by being ready and by having a little soundbite at all times about what's going on in the marketplace and not rambling, okay, keep it concise because nobody wants to listen to a 5-minute market dissertation. But having something that you can spit out that positions you as an expert very quickly is such a tool and such a benefit to you guys. I actually, this is a networking group that I'm a part of. I had a girl that I just met, literally just met, first time, never met her before, in end of January or maybe end of February, no, end of January. And she says, well, I'm thinking about looking for a house, but I want new construction. So why should I pay an agent for new construction? And I said, that's a great question. Right. And I was able to give her a quick and succinct reason why it's important to have a person advocating for you, even in new construction. And she goes, wow, that's amazing. You're my agent. What? I just met this girl, right? So having that ready and positioning yourself as an expert very quickly is also something as part of your intentionality. So not just being wanting to talk about work, not just bringing it up, not just getting their contact information, but really like before you go, take 5 minutes, go look up your stats, go look up in your MLS, go read the last Rise News Media, go read the last MLS update, the last state update, whatever's in your email inbox, right? We have like 20 a day, right? Just go skim one and have a fact ready and have a little soundbite ready for when you go in. And you guys saw something in the chat. Oh, your note taker has got us all kinds of goodies. Oh, it was Derek's birthday. That's what I saw. Happy birthday, Derek. I love that. Okay.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you. I appreciate it.
Anybody else have any thoughts or ideas or questions, takeaways to share with the group? Give me one more and I'll let you loose.
I actually really like what Derek said, like adding in, because I think a lot of us think like, networking events are networking events, but those PTA meetings or like my significant other, like he just got his license, like utilizing like the daycare or like muffins with moms, or that's the only one I can think of right now, is donuts with dads. Like how can you get involved with like donuts with dads? To get involved with like more of the parent side of the daycare. Like just how can you get more involved in those types of things to be intentional in the things that you're already doing?
Yeah,
working with the people you
absolutely.
already know. So, and the people your kids already know, because they will, we made a deal that if dad sells after he sells his first 5 houses, we're going to Disney. So now guess who talks about dad selling houses all the time? The kids do. So dad doesn't even have to half the time. So
it's amazing.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is what I've got for you guys today. Thank you for joining me on here. You can follow along with me on Facebook or Instagram. Becca Lutes at Broker Becca. And I would love to stay connected with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. And thank you so much, Becca, for joining us. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this Wednesday. We will see you next Wednesday at the same time for our Midwest Power Up. All right, enjoy metrics, Becca. Tell Ben we say hi.
Well, bye.